Here's a Miles Davis tune called Nardis. That's why I'm talking about. there's any request or anything, Bill, do
When you're playing the little 2-note chords, you throw them in a lot between runs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you playing just with your thumb or with your thumb and first finger?
I do both. If it's a pretty slow tempo, I'll play it with the thumb and first finger. That gets like both notes at once.
Because it's a real punctuated sound.
Oh, look like I have done this too. Yeah, just a strum. It's a little fast strum. And then it leaves the first finger free to play a run.
But I find when I do that, I end up with the lower string being a lot louder.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I had to do with this pickup is that you know it's sideways. Well, I got it low down here and high up here, and that helps.
A bunch of times on the,
yeah. You find you have to hold back on the bass. Sometimes you got to pick the bottom string soft, like in order to get them balanced. It's hard to get a balance, you know. Like even on the classical guitar, it's hard to get those high notes to sound like real balanced with your lows. But you got to hold back on the bottom. Look like sometimes I'm doing this on the bottom and picking, but I'm picking really soft on the bottom because I want it to be underneath everything else. So like if you go like this sometimes, it's a little bit loud. So it's hard to get that balance. Look like that's one of the problems. But it's just something you got to work on. But your guitar, you know, it helps if your guitar is set up right. You know, if the pickup is set up just right, just strum a chord, you know, to check it out and go. And you can tell, like, you know, there might be like too much bass on your amp. You know, maybe there's like too many lows. That could be a part of it. And then the other part is that you actually got to play a little softer on the bottom, you know, in order to balance it. I read an article on Oscar Peterson, the piano player. He said he's still working on it. He's been playing all those years, and he's still trying to balance the bottom with the highs. Now, you know who gets a really great balance is Chick. Well, Chick does too, like Chick Corea does too, but the other guy, you know, the guy that plays alone on piano all the time. Keith Jarrett gets a great balance. It seems like the lows he plays are really strong, but like the high notes are strong too. See, but that's two different hands. You know, you can always play the high notes like louder on the piano, but on guitar, it's like you're trying to do that all with one hand. So it's hard. It's like in classical playing, I think, you know, once in a while, like this finger has to play the melody, and you use a rest stroke there, you know, to try and get it louder than the other notes. And the bottom look like notes you'd be picking, just straight, you know. But this note is going because it has to be a little bit louder because it's the melody. So you have to devise an exercise where you can, where like if you're playing the melody and you're playing a background to it, like try and keep the background soft. So you have to try and control it. It's kind of hard to do because it's really hard to do in electric because it's easy to get out of control when you're playing electric. You mean these here? Yeah, I use those too. But you can only use those if you're in a certain key. You know, if you're in E minor or something.
With this hand, this kind of technique.
Yeah, once in a while I'll do something like a. You know, you can go up here and do it too, and there. But usually it's always look like 12 notes apart.
Right.
That's usually what I do. I'll just use that. Yeah, I heard look like Tal Farlow do that a long time ago. And, I always wondered what he was doing there. But one day I discovered that, this. And then you can play them all over the place, as long as you're 12 frets apart, an octave apart. And then when you start mixing them in with the other notes, that's when it really gets interesting. Like I'll just take a 3-note chord, say like G, like that, just a plain G. And don't worry about that 7th string. Just make like that and even there. But this is the G chord, right? B, D, G. B, D, G. And then you play the G chord. But what you do is you raise the bottom note up an octave, with a harmonic. So you raise the 3 of the chord. B is the 3 of G. Right? So you just go. And then you play that. And look like with these 2 fingers, you play the D and the G string. I mean like the D and the G note. So you get. So it's like doing this, but only you're getting it here now. Because you don't have to move, you can just go. Right? So if you want an inversion of a chord, say you look like playing a G major 7th. Look like say you're playing that chord there. Or this one. Well, if you want the next one up, you can stay in the same place and just raise the bottom note up. And it sounds like you're up here, but you're still down there. And it gives you a piano voicing. Yeah, it takes a while to get that, because you got to play the harmonic with these 2 and like pick the rest of the chord with these fingers. But it saves you from doing this. So, like if you have to get that sound naturally, you'd have to go. Usually I get it like this. There it is there, but you see what I have to do? I have to hold these 2 down, and then these 2. So I got for G. Now that's a G major 7th. But it's a different inversion. But if you had to do that real fast, or look like, say you wanted to go, and you ain't got time to get there. So it look like if you're here, you just go. And like this hand don't have to work as hard. But this hand has the tough part. Because you got to be right on. Because there's G, right? So you got to be on there. You got to have your eye on that note. And then once you got it, then you can always move it. But it look like if you were to play it, it look like the real way you'd be going. So it's a lot harder this way, actually. I mean, it takes longer to get there, and get your hands in place. So, like, using that harmonic is kind of a shortcut. But it takes a while to get the right hand to do it and everything. But, boy, it really means a lot to me because I can play chords that like, I usually wouldn't be able to reach, Like this chord right here, C, in the C major 7th. Well, if you want a piano sound, all you do is raise the bottom note. Instead of low, you play it high. You play the harmonic and you get the rest. So like if you had to really play that chord, you'd be going like that. You'd be going. Now you can go. You don't have to knock yourself out like this. So it's a kind of a shortcut in a way, but it's harder in this end.
What if you use a flat pick?
Give up.
No. Well, like if you're using a flat pick, then you have to kind of... yeah, like you got to give up something. You got to give up one note sometimes. Because like then you got to hold the flat pick with the 2nd finger and play your harmonic with the 1st. Then you get 2 left. So like you can play like 3-note chords. You can get like that. I mean, you can play like 3 and 3, like 3 notes, and then another 3, and then you can get the chord, but you can't get it all at once. You can go, and you hold the straight pick like this, instead of like this. Hold it like that, and then use your 1st finger to play the harmonic like this. But then you lose one finger because you're holding the straight pick with the 2nd finger. So that's a decision you got to kind of, make up your mind on when you want to use, or you can go back and forth. You can use the thumb pick for a while, then use the straight pick. Or you can use the straight pick and then just put the straight pick in your hand and don't use anything, just use your thumbnail. To get those chords, you can just use your fingers and just put the straight pick in there somehow. Like some people do that. They just put it right in their palm and go like that. And then when they want the straight pick, they get back to it. It's kind of a hard decision. It all depends what you want to do the most. Because the straight pick has its advantages too, you know.